Barry Kelly throws it in for the second half. WIT need a big performance. They're 6 down. UL 1-9. WIT 6 points. And they start early. Running down the line was Gavin O'Brien. Couldn't find a teammate initially. WIT forced to fight for it. Gavin O'Brien, shot from the crowd. Gavin O'Brien hits it wide. Paul Maher drives it. Langton racing for it. Stephen Roach racing for it. Martin O'Neill getting it and giving away the line ball. Not caught particularly cleanly, but might work out. Shot from just inside that 45 region. They're always difficult ones. They're not quite 50-50, maybe 60-40. Either way, it's missed by Kevin O'Brien. Battle on in midfield. Heffernan couldn't gather. Morrissey can. Nothing too scientific about what Morrissey was doing there. Drive it into the forward line. It was almost caught by John McGrath. He did it initially, but then let it go. Goalkeeper makes a bit of a meal of it, but then rescues the situation. Skips it out to Hamill. Mahoney is close to it, but trying to make it stick was Jake Dillon. Dillon has lost his hurley. Good kick pass. Keogh. Hamill. O'Brien tries to turn on it. Beaten to it by the defender. David McInerney with a little help from Dara Quinn. And now farmed away by Tony Kelly. A lot of little fumbles so far in the second half. Tom Fox. Fox marauders through. Won again by the UL defence. Guided into the path of Brian Stapleton. Pressurised by Dillon and Mahoney, the Waterford pair. Stapleton clears. And he was in danger of falling in between two stools there, but eventually it was cleaned up and comes to Martin O'Neill. Falls in on top of Hayes, who had that goal chance in the first half. It was a fantastic save by the goalkeeper, Jake Dillon. Dillon with a crossfielder. It's high risk, but it does work out to Liam McGrath. McGrath, no ball to Mahoney. Trying to step inside Stapleton. Instead goes with the pass to Martin O'Neill. There was a bit much on that. Martin O'Neill kind of overcooks. Luckily for WIT, it falls to Hamill. Hamill goes out wide. Shot from a long way out. They need a boost. Can Tom Fox provide it? Oh, you better believe he can. Tom Fox, what a score for him. 2 points in the first game, his first of the second, and it could, Seanie McGrath, be a very important one.
Great score, in fairness. I mean, it was a silly pass back from Pairc Ui Rinn and put his defender under fierce pressure, but in fairness, from a difficult situation, they worked a great score. And look, UL might rule a couple of those misses early on from Kevin O'Brien, because you know, when you're 6 you should go 7, when you're 7 you should go 8. And just as I said, they've just got a monster score from way out the field. I think it might have been Tony Kelly. Great score, and that's exactly what Brian Lowe will be saying, because I mean, when they're in the pole position now, they really want to put the gas on now and try and pull ahead of Waterford. I mean, a bit like the last day, they had their chance. Waterford stayed in it, and when you've got players on the other side like Pairc Ui Rinn and Jake Dillon, they will know where the posts are. So I can imagine Brian Lowe will be really happy with that, because you know, they had a couple of sloppy passes earlier, a couple of poor wides, but you know, as I said earlier, key players like Tony Kelly always make a difference. That was a massive score from way out the field.
Stapleton trying to gather. Morrissey there as well. WIT escaped to Harry Keogh, the Wexford man, wrapped up by Heffernan. Heffernan was fouling his man, had the hurley in over the top, and it's a free into WIT. Keep it going is the shout from the WIT bench. Strike from Mahoney. And another clean one as well, right out of the centre of the club. And now it's 3 from place balls from Mahoney and 5 overall. He's kind of keeping WIT in this. WIT going for a 2 in a row as Conor Martin gets on possession. Martin's on the run, goes out wide to Cathal McInerney. His shot is blocked. Still fighting for it, UL on that far side. and they will get the free in. As we were saying, WIT going for 2 in a row, but that's nothing compared to some of the runs that UCC went on. They won it 8 times in a row from 81 to 88. I'm sure many of that great Cork team from the, I suppose you can say, early to late 80s, early 90s were part of that run. As McGrath lines it up, shouldn't be a problem for him. A 5-point lead surely becomes a 6-point lead. McGrath dots the I and puts it over. UL don't have to change a whole lot about what they're doing, Shawnee.
No, at this stage they're in a very commanding position, Oisin. I mean, it's hard to see, I suppose, even though it's early in the second half. Waterford, I'm not sure, do they need a goal or something, because I mentioned him a few times, like the Jake Dillon, but they're not really getting a whole pile out of him, and he's a really, really good, talented hurler. There's a few balls going to the full forward line now, and for me they're coming out too easy. They need to work harder inside Waterford. Keep chipping away at the scores and maybe get their goal chance. And it's just amazing. You said it yourself in the first half. That goal, that kind of fluky goal, really is the big difference. If it hadn't gone over, it would only be a 2 or 3 point game. But it gives you that cushion. It's amazing what a goal and sometimes a fluky goal can do. But Waterford just have to keep working and battling hard, because they're in a funny position now. Because it's a case of the likes of the Tony Kellys and the John McGrath, who are really on their game. They curtailing them is going to be difficult. So they've a tough task ahead now for the next 20 odd minutes.
David McInerney tidying up, or Brian Troy, I beg your pardon, for UL tidying up. Tom Fox. Langton going long despite McInerney's attention. Shot from Mahoney. Looked over to me, but the umpires disagree. Mahoney will be disappointed with that. The talent he has, he'd expect to pop that over.
Very disappointed, Oisin, but he is the go-to player. Every time he gets the ball, he looks dangerous. He'd be very, very disappointed to hit the crossbar and went wide. Just, he said, a great take out of the air from Jason Ford, and a nice finish from Tommy Heffernan. In fairness, a great score, but it was all about Jason Ford's take out of the air. Great catch from the puck out.
Tommy Heffernan's first of the game means it's a 7-point match, and WIT are struggling. Austin Gleeson, an incalculable loss, but they still have an awful lot of talent out there, as do UL. Hayes, very hard to stop once he gets the momentum going. He will elect to take his point. They need it, but they haven't got it again. Disappointing.
What was notable as well, there wasn't a whole pile of support play. In fairness, there was only one lad available, I think Jake Dillon. They seem to have gone away out the field and retreated, whereas staying orthodox and staying around the square where the damage will be done. He had no support play, and I suppose he was under pressure to shoot because he had no one to pass it to.
David McInerney spins it out wide. That's a very good block down. Might that boost the WIT men? Bouncing into the tackle there was Hamill. Martin O'Neill. Gavin O'Brien. Crossfielder again, looking perhaps for Jake Dillon. Dillon wins his own ball. Bit of a Hail Mary ball, and it's shoveled out to Brian Troy. Well, had that worked out, it would have been fine, but it was always odds against the Waterford men to gather that, or the WIT men. Tommy Heffernan. Marked heavily by Ger Tehan. Neat turn by John McGrath. McGrath's in behind, trying to get in one-on-one. Tehan gets a stick in there, but they're still fighting for it. Popped up to McInerney. And McInerney sticks it over. Well, in retrospect, I guess WIT will be glad not to have conceded a goal, but McInerney finished it well. John McGrath dispossessed his man really, really well and was unlucky not to score. It was a lovely bit of stick work on a half hour line from Tommy Heffernan. He was unlucky in the first half, maybe not to get a goal when he just mistimed his touch, but he started the second half really, really well, and he's after getting a great score, and he gave a great pass there. Showed lovely stick work. He's a nice little wristy hurler, is Heffernan. UL cruising at the moment. What can Waterford do? WIT, Harry Keogh, Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill with the crossfielder. Hayes chases after it. He's under real pressure here from Jack Brown. Jack Brown, a tidy corner back. Stapleton leaves it behind. UL steal away with it, but it's a giveaway. Liam McGrath goes to ground. McGrath gets back up, fancies a shot. This one's going to drop short. Keeper has to be careful. And finds Pairc Quinn. Nice bit of balance there from Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly with the spin. Fantastic. Jason Ford lets fly. This move deserves a point, but it hasn't gone over. We mentioned Havana Browns and Reardon's earlier on. That spin from Tony Kelly belonged in there.
That was a Simon Zebo moment. He's a great player. He's a class act. I mean, even the offload as well to Jason Ford, as you said, he deserved a score. I suppose that's why the fans are going here. There's plenty of neutrals there tonight that are shooting for no side, but they're going to see players like Tony Kelly. Brilliant hurling. And a great score there in fairness to WIT.
Harry Keogh pops it over, the Wexford man. And it's a score that they desperately needed. Harry Keogh matches his total from the first game, 1 point. He'll hope to add a few more, although I'm sure he doesn't care who gets the scores so long as WIT can find a way into this game. When you make the conversion, it's 16 playing 9. Morrissey. Overcooked. Stephen Roach putting pressure on. Morrissey. Jake Dillon. Roll lifted by Harry Keogh. Tommy Heffernan dispossesses, but the free is given, and it will be a WIT ball. I think that last point by Harry Keogh has given them a bit of hope in this game. It's a kind of a strange atmosphere because there's a big crowd in, but as you say, Shawnee, they're neutral, so they're not necessarily behind anyone.
No, I'm not sure. You know, if you looked at the breakdown of the crowd, I'm not sure how many fans are actually here from UL or WIT. I think it's a big Cork crowd here. You know, it's plenty of talent on view, Oisin, and I'd say a lot of Cork fans have come up, as I said earlier, to look at players like Tony Kelly and Pairc Ui Rinn and John McGrath and that, but I'm not so sure how many of them are actually from the different colleges. But it's still a nice little atmosphere, no doubt about it. Good catch by Jerome Marr. Eventually it finds its way to Martin O'Neill. Mahoney missed that free. Pairc Quinn, favourite. Quinn spinning away, gives it to Jack Brown. Aerial duel. Trying to come away is Conor Martin. Conor Martin from a tight angle. Goalkeeper takes it out of the sky. Stephen Roach drops it, picks it up again though. Roach lobs it over the top. Tidy little ball. Driving effort from Keogh. It's going to drop around the 20-metre line. That's extremely good play. Garrow O'Drine, not to be confused with Tipperary's Garrow O'Drine, tidied up and did well. WIT give away the line ball through Gertine, but the alternative might have been worse had McGrath been able to turn on that. Kelly. Pop back. McGrath. Good score from McGrath, but it was very well worked. McGrath with his second from play, and 6 overall for him now. Studying construction management and engineering. Well, UL building on a lead here. Kelly. Pairc Quinn. Quinn pops it down the line. There's danger. It'll go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Zippy ball, miscued. Taken up by corner forward Kevin O'Brien. And Kevin O'Brien in that kind of space was never going to miss and gets his second of the game. UL getting away from WIT, and there's 9 between them now. Morrissey. Owen McGrath finds the out ball, but there's not much space to work with. Stephen Roach. Roach chooses to bring it closer to goal. It's high risk. Hayes. He's being closed down and he was falling backwards while striking, and that was always going to be difficult to keep on target, and he can't do it. Yeah, well, they're 9 points down at this stage and they're panicking, I think. I think that ball could have gone over the bar earlier, Oisin. They're going into traffic at that stage and there was no way. And I'm surprised at this stage that Waterford aren't gone orthodox, as I said earlier, and maybe going with 3 inside, because every time the ball goes in there, they're being swarmed by the UL defences. The UL defence. There's no real support play. There's no kind of fella coming in off the half forward line or the corner forward position, and fellas in are shooting under pressure. That was a poor shot selection for me.
Jerome Malone comes in for WIT, the Mullinavat man. He's replacing Liam McGrath. Malone trying to get into it first up. That's a fantastic catch. What an impact. Gavin O'Brien. And Gavin O'Brien knocks it over. It was a tough one to shoot for from that angle, but he was able to get the score. However, credit must go to Jerome Malone. What a catch. What an introduction.
And the funniest things can change games, in fairness. It was a brilliant take and a great pass out. Brilliant score on the left. If it had gone wide, I can imagine Colin Bonner on the sideline screaming, shooting from possible angles. But in fairness to him, he showed plenty of courage and it was a great score. Let's see, they're 7 points in it now. They need to really push on.
Hamill. Ooh, fumble. Kevin O'Brien pounces. Line ball to UL. Here's Jason Ford, gets plenty on this one. Wow, what a line ball. What a score. And UL once again lead by 9.
Yeah, Jason Ford, I mean, he hasn't absolutely dominated the game at any stage, but he just, every time he gets the ball, he does the right thing. That was a brilliant score, and it's an awful pity for UL after a great score earlier from Gavin O'Brien. An inspirational score, a line ball from 50 yards out. It's very hard to respond to that, and in fairness, as I was saying earlier myself, every time Waterford seem to be coming, UL are just getting those scores because they've got the class, they've got the Jason Fords, the Tony Kellys, the John McGrath fellas. That'll just make a difference, and that was another fabulous bit of skill.
These are the best young players in the country, or some of them anyway. Harry Keogh trying to get away from Morrissey. Keogh goes for it, probably the wrong decision because he was under pressure and striking on the run. You mentioned the word panic. Did Keogh panic there?
Yeah, absolutely, Oisin. I mean, he's a good hurler. He's played well tonight, in fairness. He's worked very, very hard. It's easy to be critical, guys, when you're up here looking at it, but again, he should have done better there. I think he even had an extra catch. He took it straight off to Hurley. I think he'd only caught it once. He could have taken it in the hand. So a small bit of composure. And as I said earlier, they're just panicking and small mistakes start creeping in when you're panicking, and sloppy balls that you'd normally take and clip over the bar. You don't just get them. Here they are now on the attack. Let's see what they do.
Here's Johnny Hayes on the run. They need a goal. Will he go for it? Moves it inside. Goal chance on. Malone. Good save by the goalkeeper. Second chance there. No, it's tidied up. And the goalkeeper has made some fine saves tonight at important times. And Brian Stapleton now on it for UL. Stapleton clears it. And that's like getting a score for your team when your goalkeeper does that and your defence are able to clear. Paul Marr with a wonderful save from Jerome Malone. Maybe the chance for WIT will give them confidence that they can create more. Fox moves through the middle. Still going Fox. Looks to me like he's fouled. Referee says nothing doing. And fouling the ball there was the corner forward, Gavin O'Brien. Yes, UL have been better, but when the luck isn't with you, the luck isn't with you.
Yeah, it's the second chance now. In fairness to Paul Marr, he's been very brave all night. There was a chance in the first half as well for Johnny Hayes. And I suppose there are differences. 2 goals would have been 6 points. That would have brought him right into the game again. But in fairness to the goalkeeper, he was very, very good. Again, in the free conceded there, I think that was good play out of UL. They held the man up, but I've been a tiny bit critical of WIT, and I'm conscious of that. But again, there was no real support play. The player was closed down very, very quickly. There was no one coming off the shoulder looking for the pass, and just that cohesion and team play just seems to be missing a little bit at the moment.
Long range strike, will it go all the way over? That's the question. The answer is yes, and it's Tony Kelly again. Five points for Tony Kelly, quite the individual tally. Doesn't guarantee you anything though. Joe Canning once scored 116 in a Fitzgibbon Cup Final and his team didn't win. That's a good strike by Kevin O'Brien. Well, it might have been a good strike, but it wasn't an accurate one. It went wide. Sorry, Kevin, for the commentator's curse. Still 10 points between them. Morrissey trying to move away from Stephen Roach. There might be some consolation for Waterford hurling people. They probably won't win this game. The odds are certainly against them, but there might be a Waterford man winning. Stephen Bennett has come on for UL. They're in again. Spilled out wide. This could be the difference. Heffernan, goal for UL. Heffernan got a goal in the first final. He's got a goal in the second. And now it's 2-17 to 10 points. And it looks like a case of good night and good luck for WIT and the start of celebrations for UL.
I think so. A big night now, I think, for UL, and a great score in fairness. Great bit of interchange play. I suppose go back to what I said earlier about the support play. John McGrath won a great ball and Tommy Heffernan came off the shoulder. A great, and he deserves that, Oisin. For me, he's been a he's a lovely little hurler. He's tried hard all night. I said earlier about his missed timing in the first half when he was in on goal, but he's been very patient. He's kept working hard, and that was a great finish. A lovely wristy hurler, Tommy Heffernan. One to watch, I would think.
Fantastic score from Heffernan. Mahoney has a free. And for many of these players, pretty much most of them, whether they win or lose tonight, they have work to do at the weekend with their various counties. Mahoney included in that. They play Antrim early on a Sunday, I think it is. All going well for Waterford so far in 1B. Started with a draw, and they've won against Laois and Offaly since. Moving down the line is Tom Fox.
Yeah, it was a poor decision making again. In fairness, he went in a very positive run, but just, it was definitely 5 or 6 steps. He just overcarried a little bit, and maybe that's the Brian Lohan defending kind of textbook stuff coming out there. Hold your man up, be patient, and get the clip in at the right time. Force the mistake, just out of his own playing days himself. For me, all night, you will have looked a better side, Oisin. There's 8 or 9 minutes to go, but it is a foregone conclusion, particularly after the last goal from Heffernan. They're just a really well drilled side, and in fairness to WIT, and they have a great coach in Colin Bonner. But for me, UL are just a class act, and that's another fabulous score from Tony Kelly. He's a standout player.
Tony Kelly had a mixed record from frees the last day, but again, I would stress the conditions were horrific. Nothing wrong with his striking today. 6 overall, 2 from place balls.
WIT substitution. Number 9, Stephen Rhodes, has been replaced by number 21, Kieran O'Brien.
Kieran O'Brien of St. Dita's in Cork. Quite a team at St. Dita's now. Seamus Harnedy there as well, the Gertrude Club. Small club in East Cork. Here's Dara Quinn, goal scorer in the first half. Dara Quinn, is he going to be a point scorer in the second half? No. First possession of the game for Kieran O'Brien. Comes down to Harry Keogh. Keogh trying to get a run on goal, throws it a bit ahead of himself. Looks like he's being tugged back by Kelly. He's into the square. It ends up in the back of the net, but the referee had blown the whistle. The advantage rule not in yet. At the very least for WIT, they do get the free in. And put quite simply, Sean, they have to go for it.
They have to, and they need to get everyone following the ball now from the shot as well in case it breaks out. At this stage, keep trying. They're well down, but keep trying, and I don't think they have any chance of coming into the game, but at the same time, you want to put up a respectable score. So Pairc has to have the shot, and if it comes out from the break, flood it in and try and get your rebound.
Martin O'Neill standing over it because he's got considerable bulk and power. O'Neill has to go for it and does. Good save again by the goalkeeper. 3 good saves from him tonight, and 2 of them you could argue came at important times. There's a real scramble on there. WIT essentially trying to maul it into the back of the net. Comes back out to the stick, I think, of O'Neill. Turning is Harry Keogh, but there's absolutely no room to manoeuvre. Mahoney can't get it into the hand. Comes out to Brian Stapleton. Stapleton looks like he's bounced over the line by Martin O'Neill. Just about stays in play. Ref blows the whistle. And I think it's going to be a 65 to WIT. PJ Scully of Laois. Well, Joe O'Dwyer is a man who may well have started, but he picked up an injury in the first game of the league for Tipperary playing against Dublin. A poor day for Tip, but O'Dwyer was one of the standout players. It's good news though for Tip ahead of this weekend's game against Kilkenny. He is available for selection. That's him on the ball now, Joe O'Dwyer. PJ Scully, by the way, has come in for UL. Tony Kelly.
Number 11.
David McInerney. Dillon tries to get under this one. Great catch by Jake Dillon. Dillon on his way towards goal. It's a crowded goal mouth. Mahoney back to Dillon. Dillon will just take his point. Battling is the cornerback Jerome Marr. Bit of contact made there. The wrestling match continues, but the play goes on. Martin O'Neill lobs it in. Harry Keogh tries to get under it. Ball breaks, but not particularly kindly. Brian Troy is in there for UL. Flicked out by the cornerback Jack Brown. And the free out is awarded to UL. It's tough on the WIT players because they can't give up, but they know the day is done.
Very, very disappointing, particularly after putting up such a great show the last day and coming back into a game where they looked like they were out of really and going to extra time. Very, very disappointing for them. It's been a long campaign, but in fairness, all you can do is keep trying to the end, and Jake Dillon got a good score there a while ago, but this has been a marvellous performance from UL. They've been, from the very first minute, they've been up for it, and right up to now they keep battling away, and it's been a very, very impressive performance altogether.
Possession one in the middle. Kelly goes for it again. This one has the legs, but not the accuracy. Dara Stapleton could do nothing about the second goal. Be interesting to see the first goal again, whether or not he could do anything to stop that. Malone knocks it down the park. Hayes tries to close down his man. Stapleton bouncing around like a pinball, but does get it back to David McInerney. Rolls past Connor Martin. Taken up by the leashman PJ Scully. Shot from a long way out. Looks like it's dragging wide. Martin O'Neill. Jer Malone thought he might have been able to catch it and get away there. Hasn't given up on this one. Malone's still with it. He's won a lot of balls since coming in. That's a good pass to Mahoney. Mahoney on his bike. Mahoney, fresh air shot. Kept alive this attack by WIT. Pass back into the corner. Jake Dillon tries to get around David McInerney. That's not easily done. That's a very good pass. Shot comes, and they finally get their goal, and there's a little bit of gloss on the scoreboard for WIT.
Substitutions on the UL team, number 12, Tommy Heffernan, as we would say.
Gavin O'Brien finished it to the net after a very good pass to set it up.
Great score, in fairness. I mean, yeah, and to give credit to what the WIT, they've kept battling away. That was a great crossfield pass from Jake Dillon. He showed his class there. He is a quality player and a fabulous finish in the end. And for me, one of the best players tonight has just been taken off, Tommy Heffernan. I think he's put in a really, really good show. Lovely stick work and got a great goal earlier.
Stapleton, pressurised by Mahoney, gets his clearance down the park. It's a beautiful night for hurling. Sadly, we haven't got a beautiful game, but you have to credit UL. They have been outstanding tonight. McGrath, a little bit sloppy there. We won't have too much of a go at him because he's been marvellous throughout almost the entirety of this game. WIT coming forward with the final flourish. Dillon can't control it. Pressurised by Garrod O'Dryan from County Clare. Connor Martin, he's worn 14 on his jersey but has rarely played there tonight. Can UL finish with a goal? Here's McGrath. Blocked bravely by the foot. Owen McGrath. Free out to WIT. And we're into injury time. I was going to say easy catch for Dara Quinn, but made hard work of it. Did gather it though. He's been marvellous tonight, Dara Quinn. This one will be launched in. Perhaps one last chance for WIT. Turning on his Mahoney, shovels it past Troy. He's taken down. Referee's going to give the free to WIT. The last thing you want, Shawnee, at this stage is someone getting injured on either side.
No, I mean, okay, the Fitzgibbon Cup will finish tonight, but a lot of these players will go play into county games the weekend and back to their clubs. So the game is more or less petering out now to conclusion. You don't want anyone picking up a silly yellow card, a red card, or an injury. But it's been a very sporting game all night. In fairness, there hasn't been too many dirty blows around. In fairness, no, both sides have been very sportsmanlike.
And they can't keep that one down, and it goes over. Another point for WIT. Too little, too late though. Mahoney knocked it over. 24 points, plays 17 when you make the conversion. Barry Kelly blows the full-time whistle, and the University of Limerick are Independent.ie Fitzgibbon Cup champions for 2015. The final score, UL 218, WIT 114. Seanie McGrath, a deserved win.
Yeah, I think UL all night, Oisin, have been the stronger side. That little bit more class, I suppose, when you've got players, again repeating myself, players like Tony Kelly and John McGrath on your side. But you mentioned yourself earlier about players maybe of lesser lights shining, and for me I just really like to look at Tommy Heffernan. He was unlucky in the first half. Players would let their heads down when they miss a chance like that, but he kept at it and he got a goal and a point, a goal and 2 points maybe in the end. But overall it's been an enjoyable game. Definitely I suppose the game petered out a little bit midway through the second half when Tommy Heffernan got that goal, but WIT kept at it, and Jake Dillon and fellas like that, Pairc Ui Rinn, Martin O'Neill and these guys, they kept at it. But in the end, yeah, UL were a better side. To be fair, they were probably a much better side. Anytime Waterford came, players like Tony Kelly, Jason Ford got a marvellous sideline ball, and they just had too much class in the end.
Well, the excitement level tonight didn't quite match what we got the first time out in the Gaelic grounds, but it has been a strong 2015 Independent.ie Fitzgibbon Cup, and UL deserving winners. The final score, UL 218, WIT 114.